Episode 125. JP, we're 2 weeks out from the NHL draft. Not officially. I mean, it is Thursday. But by the time this gets out, by the time people are listening to it, we are 2 Fridays away from seeing what the whole summer or the 2 weeks that teams are active are really going to look like.
Yeah, we're almost to the actual start of the offseason. I mean, there is already a trade, so technically Kevin could be doing anything right now if he wanted to. But yeah, we just need this series to end, and then I think stuff will actually start happening. And it's not looking like the series might go on much longer anyway, so might not be something we have to worry about.
Yeah, the cup could be lifted as soon as Saturday, although if Edmonton comes back, that might not age well. Good old TSR jinx to get them up and going, but
hey, that's who I'm rooting for. So,
what are the Ducks doing? I don't understand. I feel like also it's like a weird team to consistently bail out on a monthly basis.
I don't know what dirt that Drury has on the Ducks that he's gotten bailed out multiple times. Like it's crazy. They owe him.
When Mika Zibanejad inevitably comes up as like a trade or a buyout candidate, just be ready. The Ducks are gonna like claim him off waivers or something.
Yep.
I did raise my eyebrow though. That's $6 million less dollars to spend on a certain free agent winger.
It's true. The Ducks are already spending money. They still got so much freaking cap space, but that's true. I mean, you could look at it that way, or you could look at it as the Rangers are opening up cap space for someone else who they might be interested in. So it's relevant to what the Sabres are doing. I mean, what we hope they're doing at least, this move. So moves money around the league.
Did you see Lafreniere has been in some trade talks, as well as Keandre Miller?
I did. Those are both interesting pieces. It seems like the Rangers are legitimately gonna do a core mix-up after what happened last year. And I mean, those are some good players. I think those would be players we could be interested in too.
The point I was trying to make is that the Eichel untouchables they're dwindling by the day.
That is true. Is Lafreniere like? Those are the only two left. I mean, Kakko's gone.
I don't think Keandre Miller was really a part of that. I think it was more so Braden Schneider. So it's just him and Lafreniere.
Yeah.
Lundqvist is gone. Kakko's gone. I think that's it.
Yep. And inevitably, you're seeing some incredible trade proposals by some Rangers fans again.
Oh my God. What was that one? It was Peterka and Byram.
Yep.
I think Keandre Miller was in the deal. And it was like him and like Brendan Othman, and I think like a few picks maybe. I gotta scroll back.
Yeah, I think we had to pay something for it, and I don't know. I know we posted something about it.
I think they threw in like a random like 4th round pick on the Rangers side.
Yeah,
like that was like the sweetener. That's what had to get done to get the deal done in the end. Oh man, where is this? I gotta find this. That was an all-time bad tweet. But I've even seen like Carolina fans been throwing around stuff because they're supposedly going to be making big changes. And like, what the one was, it was like Thompson and Tuch both in a deal for like, did they even throw like Nichushkin in the deal?
Oh yeah, I remember seeing that. That was
like
ridiculous.
Svechnikov. Yeah, I found the Carolina one. It was Tage Thompson and Alex Tuch. Okay, we got a whop. We got quite the blockbuster here. So it starts out Jesperi Kotkaniemi, Andrei Svechnikov, Jackson Blake, Scott Morrow, and Dallas's first-round picks that they got in the Rantanen trade.
These picks are ridiculous. It's crazy. I just found the Rangers trade too. It was Peterka and Byram for Keandre Miller, Brennan Ottman, Brett Baird, and a 2026 fifth-round pick we got back.
A 2026 fifth-round pick.
Yeah,
That's
the
That's what they had to get done.
Yeah,
That's what they had to do.
yeah, and we ratioed that that post by 3 times. They had 250 likes. We 725 likes on our comment.
Deserved, I would say. Yeah, I'm scrolling through the Carolina comments, and first comment I see: take out Svechnikov, and I say yes.
Yeah. This is going to lead you to hate Carolina even more.
Yeah, you're spot on. It's not doesn't take a lot.
And I'm sure
Does not take a lot.
those same fans that are proposing that are probably saying they'll get Mitch Marner too.
Well, there was that other tweet going around. It was because the Marty Necas news had dropped, or the rumors had dropped.
Yeah.
Because he thinks very highly of himself, and he's going to be asking for a lot of money this offseason.
He's not happy anywhere he goes. Basically, that's what it sounds like.
Yeah, basically. I think Merrick was saying, or maybe it was Saravalli. Somebody said he could get $9 million average annual value from a team on his next deal, and he might say no, which insane. But anyways, the post came out. I think it was like Nick Kyprios was saying that he was unhappy there, and later that day I see a Carolina tweet. It was like Rantanen's overpaid and didn't perform in the third round. Marty Necas is unhappy and doesn't want to stay anywhere he goes. But Carolina, they got Logan Stankoven and a bunch of picks. Eric Tulsky, masterclass.
The Tulsky glaze is crazy from that.
Do you see what I mean? You see what I mean?
It is crazy. Completely fumbled the bag with that whole situation, yet they think they came out on top.
Yeah, they get a bunch of like 29th overall first-round picks for the next 3 years. Whoop-de-doo.
Yeah.
He really fleeced them.
Congrats. Yeah, there's already, I think, some Carolina fans or maybe some other fans on Twitter saying, oh, yeah, Carolina might get Robertson now, and they're going to trade Stankoven back. Like, it's like, these people are delusional. It's crazy.
Hate them. Hate them all. They're the worst. Well, anyways, we're 2 weeks out from the draft, and things are starting to trickle through. Obviously, last week was the draft combine. Prospects, getting measured up, getting interviewed. GMs are all in town, front office staff all in town. Rumors swirling, everybody in one place, like we knew it was going to happen. So we're getting close. We're getting to the finish line. Obviously, the Cup Finals is at Game 4 tonight. And, oh, wow, Edmonton just tied the game.
Are you serious?
3-3. It's 3-3.
Wow.
So maybe the cup will not be lifted this Saturday. Anyways, it'll be lifted no later than next Friday, because I think they play Saturday, and then they'd probably play like Monday and then like Thursday or something. So we got 1 week of hockey left for the year, and then we're right into off-season mode. So it's finally here, almost. And that means crazy season is upon us. I will say that the playoffs have gone about a lot quicker, I think, maybe. But I feel like as we're getting to the end here with the anticipation of like the Byram trade and even like the dumb Peterka rumors and now even like the Alex Tuch stuff the other day, I'm starting to get that the itch. Like it's starting to come back, and I'm ready to finally kick this summer off. I don't know about you.
I agree. I want to see some actual actual moves and some actual rumors happen, not just these insiders speculating that I wonder if they'll do this, I wonder if they'll do that. Like I want to see tweets like the Bowen Byram talks are ramping up. Trade could be imminent. Like, and I think most GMs are just waiting for the playoffs to finish. So I'm definitely getting that itch. I want to see some rumors. I want to see, are the Stars actually keeping Robertson? Are they trading him? Is Peterka actually out there? Like it's starting to get to that time of that offseason that is a lot of fun when you're a bad team because you can think of all these scenarios that can make your team better and do all these mock off seasons and they never happen as a Sabres fan, but they're a lot of fun to think about.
Well, it also doesn't help when the biggest insider in hockey is saying you got to watch the Sabres this offseason, and respectfully everybody's like, okay, like
yeah.
we'll believe it when we see it. We were basically told this last year.
Yeah.
And here we are again. I don't think fool me once, strike one.
I mean, we know Kevin is very involved in conversations, but it's just if that actually turns into anything. That's how it's been in the past. Until he does something this offseason, that's how it's looking like right now. I mean, yeah, we are the team to watch because we should be the team to watch. We need to make some moves, and we just got Jarmo who can hopefully help push that, but until it actually happens, it's just talk.
Big news the other day: Jarmo Kekalainen attended his first Bills training camp. So good for him.
Hanging out with Terry, hanging out with the boys. They checked out the draft room. Yeah.
Happy to see him get acclimated.
Yeah. Hey, if Kevin's not here next year, Jarmo's got to get those relations up with the Bills boys.
Can't piss them off. Can't get on their bad side.
Did you see the photo of Terry going around? Yep.
Which one?
He always has notes in his hand. Like I'm just wondering what those notes say. Like he always has like a piece of paper that he has in his hand. He's like looking at it. It's like, is he just like looking at like the practice schedule or like what could he possibly be taking notes for? Like I hope he's not taking notes and going and telling Sean and Brandon like, oh, here are my thoughts on today's practice.
He could be, and then they're just consequently like, oh, awesome work, man.
He goes,
this is really good stuff.
He goes, Josh looked really good today. Oh yeah.
I think he's gonna have a good year. I'm looking for this one text from our buddy Ryan Hagan of Buffalo Sports Talk. He was joking about Kekalainen and Adams being there, and he was quoting. I think he was like quoting like if Terry was talking to them. And he's like, oh no, it would be someone else, but he's quoting like a Bills person is walking them through the facility like they're a I don't know, like an apartment complex manager. Spare keys under the mat. Make sure Terry gets his post-dinner gummy worms. Don't give him too much Pepsi. He'll become too talkative and try to take over your draft. Anyways, Bills shenanigans aside, obviously this is like the last little hump before we get to the off season, last little speed bump, and things are leaking out. It feels like the Bowen Byram thing is
feels
imminent.
Like it's a done deal that he's gone.
It feels like it's a done deal. He's gone, and it feels like we're getting closer to the finish line. Like I feel like he's going to be the first one to go, like immediately.
I agree. I mean, even Kevin Weeks tweeted something, and we know how he's so ahead of the curve with this stuff. So if he's tweeting something,
what did that say? Didn't they literally just say like teams are interested in him? That was the big.
I think so.
Hashtag HockeyX.
Yeah, he's fallen off as an insider.
But yeah, the Byram thing. It feels like it's getting closer. I would assume that that's done by it's going to be done before the draft night, I think, and I think that's obviously a big part of that is we obviously heard from Chad Giannaminis recently that the Sabres are trying to get a late first-round pick in that deal potentially, such as a team like the San Jose Sharks or the Philadelphia Flyers who have picks later in the first round. So I would suspect that is done by draft night. I would be really surprised. I would be surprised if he's still on the team come July 1st. That detail about the first round pick. How do you feel about them maybe targeting another draft pick for draft night?
It honestly doesn't bother me. Like, I feel like I don't think they would make the pick. Like, I just feel like it would be more ammo at the end of the day. Like, I can't imagine their plan in the offseason was to get more draft picks. So either they're getting another draft pick to maybe trade up in the draft, which almost never happens, it feels like, or they're, getting another draft pick to trade. I mean, they traded an early second-round pick for Beck Malenstein, so if they get a late first, what? They could get, I don't know.
Get Walmart Beck Malenstein.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
It is what it is. I mean, it seems like as much as the Byram hype around the league seems a lot higher than, probably the player he actually is. I mean, even from fans, like, I know that we saw that Canucks podcast talking about him.
Oh, those poor Vancouver fans, man. I mean, hey,
yeah.
Feel free. If he's your quote-unquote plan B for Quinn Hughes. Yeah, he can be that.
The talk around him is crazy, and then if you look at like his Jay Fresh card, it's like, he's just not
terrifying.
A good player. So
it's red boxes. It's red boxes everywhere, except he's like 95th percentile finishing.
Yeah. So he, as much as I feel like he's viewed more highly around the league because of his years with Colorado, and he's like a high skill player, I think the return will end up probably being lackluster, especially if they're looking for a late first round pick. Like,
well, if they're able to get a first round pick in this deal, is that lackluster?
If it was only a first, I would say it is. I guess it would depend what else comes with, because I would imagine they're going to try and get a player back because they love their hockey trades. But I feel like he's kind of being hyped up around the league a little more. Like, it sounds like the return's going to be more than it actually is. I don't know. That's what the feeling I'm getting. Maybe it's just the fans are hyping it up more.
Well, it's just so hard to pinpoint a team in this process because inevitably the whole reason we're here is, I mean, I think the Sabres want to move on. I think when you have Rasmus Dahlin and when you have Bowen Byram, or when you have Rasmus Dahlin and you have Owen Power, Bowen Byram's a bit redundant. He doesn't really clean up any of the deficiencies that come with those two. I mean, with Rasmus Dahlin, you don't really have any deficiencies, but I think he's redundant with Owen Power. Neither of them are really. They're very similar players, and I think that's why they're kind of looking to move on. Having him there, it just seems like they want to find a different skill set. But also, Byram wants to be the number one guy, and I'm sure he wants to get paid like a number one guy. And finding a team for that obviously has been, it's difficult. There's really I think the only team in the entire league that he would not have to challenge anyone going into next season, I think, is legitimately San Jose. I don't think there's another team that's interested, like what the Rangers have been around them. Obviously, we mentioned Philadelphia, but like he's probably still behind Cam York and Travis Sanheim. San Jose, I mean, their number one defenseman right now is Timothy Liljegren. And like Sam Dickinson's on the way, but other than that, I don't know. I think that's why San Jose, makes a lot of sense as a team, and I would probably watch out for them to be the team that closes this deal. But yeah, it's tough. So it's like when you're backed into the corner, it's like if that's the only team he would maybe really get you the best value out of, it's like how much can you really take from that team? So it's like you said, they love their hockey trades. They're going to try and get a body back in this trade. I feel like you saw that with the Cousins trade. They easily could have gone down the Detroit route where they got Marco Casper and a roster player and then like a mid-round pick. They could have gotten quantity with some quality, but they went down the route of, getting more quote-unquote quality in Josh Norris, even though that's up for debate. They went more, I guess, individualistic piece there rather than maybe getting more of a surplus or just honestly just overall taking the best deal available. I mean, I would be very skeptical to say that the Josh Norris deal was the best deal through and through. And I wonder if we're going down the same route with Bowen Byram.
Yeah, and I could definitely see them targeting some sort of like second or third pair defenseman for it too. Like it's just gonna be another guy. Like it probably won't move the needle, but it's definitely gonna be a different skill set. They're not gonna bring in someone who's the same player as Byram. It's gonna be probably more of a defensive presence, maybe a right-handed defenseman. That's what I'm expecting. I'm expecting like a second or a late first and, a second or third pair defenseman. Like I don't see them making any other big moves. Like I don't see them packaging Byram for anything else. It seems like it's just going to be, pretty much get him off the books and try and bring another guy in.
It definitely seems that way, which is going to be frustrating to an extent because, like we talked about last episode, how a lot of the frustration with what they might do this offseason is it feels like they refuse to parlay assets. For example, when they traded Casey Middlestat, they just traded Casey Middlestat. When they traded Dylan Cousins, I mean, yes, you traded Dennis Gilbert, and I guess you traded a second-round pick for some reason, but in the end, you did it to get a player who's on the same level as Dylan Cousins, and okay, you got a decent right-handed defenseman back in Bernard Docker, but at the end of the day, like that was kind of chasing one singular thing, and then even the Matthew Savoy for Ryan McLeod trade, it feels like they're really stingy with like what they want to give up for something, and it's Kevin Adams' big flaw that people continuously criticize him for. He just refuses to swing big. Monday is the 5-year anniversary of Kevin Adams being named general manager, which, first of all, 5 years, Jesus Christ. But secondly, like we're 5 years in, and his biggest swing is probably the Jack Eichel trade after all this time.
I guess I wouldn't call it a swing though. Like it was, Eichel forced his hand. Like,
yeah, they just got the most. That was the deal that got the most assets in totality
definitely.
To this point.
But I think the biggest swing I think would be the Cousins trade, where we were actually trying to get better, basically.
And that's a pretty unimpressive big swing trade. I think his actual probably biggest risk trade, it's probably the Savoy trade, but that's more so just because of the scrutiny it got, because for some reason people had this idea that Matt Savoy was like a top 10 prospect in hockey when, he really wasn't. And in the end, I mean, his swing was for a third line center. So
don't talk down on McLeod like that. I know that hurts you to say that.
Hey, at the time, obviously, look, Ryan McLeod's the reason Dylan Cousins might not be a Buffalo is probably part of the reason why they traded Cousins as soon as they did. They knew they could get through the last 25 or so games without him because, you had a perfect hockey player as your second line center. But we're 5 years in, and that big swing obviously hasn't come, and it's like Byram could have been an opportunity to do that. But I think, instead of seeing what you could add on to Bowen Byram and then chasing after something, this is another trade where it's, okay, Bowen Byram's the best player in this deal, or he's the centerpiece of this deal at the end of the day. And that feels a little bit underwhelming. It feels like you could have tried more. It feels like they're like this is moving along quickly, as we said. It feels like they're racing to get this done. And it's kind of makes you question why. I mean, are they scared of an offer sheet? Is that why they're doing it? Do they just want to get ahead of everyone? I don't know. It's kind of the same thing with Cousins. I mean, everybody wanted a trade done at the deadline. They wanted something. They wanted some sort of pulse, and we ended up getting the Cousins trade. And as time progresses, I mean, as we get into this offseason with all the big names available and all the crazy roster changes possibly going on, it kind of makes you wish that maybe the Cousins thing could have waited until the offseason and we could have picked things up from there. I'm not saying that's what they should have done. Hindsight's 2020, and we all wanted a trade. Everybody wanted one. It's important to remember that. But I think the opportunity was there. I think Adams is just as desperate as the fans. And I think that's kind of what we're seeing.
Yeah, and that's why they brought in Jarmo. Hopefully he could help push something along. But I don't know. I think you put it the best way. It's looking like it's going to be another trade where we're trading away the best player. But I don't know. Never know. Nothing's actually happened yet. Kevin could be lurking, have some other ideas. I mean, like we said last episode, Josh Norris came out of nowhere, so maybe there's another team that's interested. Maybe there's a bigger deal. I don't know. Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see, but from the rumors that are coming out, it doesn't sound like it's going to be a needle mover.
Are we getting sick of these Peterka rumors yet?
I think it depends on what.
It feels very obvious that nothing's going to happen here. That nothing this feels very, very obvious.
I don't know.
You have Friedman saying this is like 100% agent driven, or maybe it was Drager or someone. But I feel like Saravalli has been just like trying to pump the tires of this for like the past 4 or 5 months since the deadline, and it's just this feels like it's going nowhere. Friedman has said Friedman at the very least has said that the Sabres do not want to do this. And I just find it very hard to believe that they will end up doing so.
I think at the end of the day, I agree, but I also think it depends on what your view of this really is. Like, I think it might be a good idea to trade him. Like, I think if you were to trade him, hopefully it's not like another Bowen Byram move where you're just moving him to get him off the books. Like, there's players out there. There's some big names out there. Robertson is out there. There's opportunity, and Peterka could be the centerpiece of that return. So it's like, from my circumstance, I like hearing these rumors because it gets me excited that something might actually happen. But the Sabres have seemingly shut it down at every instance they have. So it probably is just agent driven, trying to get his price up. And I mean, there was even offer sheet rumors coming out that maybe the Rangers would offer sheet him, which doesn't make any logical sense. But like, you're right. Nothing's gonna happen. It's probably all agent driven. It's not leading to anything. But if you're only moving Byram and Peterka's not even out there, then are you trading anybody else?
I don't know. feels like the Matthias Samuelsson conversation has, gone pretty silent.
I barely even started, to be honest.
Whatever. It feels like that. If that feels like one player that just identifies everything that is what they don't want this team to be, and
I agree.
I don't know. It doesn't feel like he's very imminently in danger of anything changing.
No, I mean, a different player that we all like and value a lot more and want to extend, his name's been out there a lot more, and that's Alex Tuch. And that, I think, I believe that people are calling on him, but I don't believe for a second that we would trade him right now.
I don't know. I mean, Saravalli, I'll give credit to him, had a little interesting note in that one article that he put out about potential offer sheet options, talking about Peterka. But I don't know if you saw this. The Sabres have one signing bonus due next year. Do you know who it is?
No, I did not see this.
Jason Zucker is due a $1 million signing bonus. That's it. There's no other signing bonus. Not Rasmus Dahlin, not Tage Thompson, not Owen Power. No one. No one is due a signing bonus.
They're saving up for the Marner signing bonus.
I mean, that was the big thing about Pettersson, is that you knew July 1st he was due $11 million. So, not to relitigate a conversation we've beaten to death, but signing bonuses don't seem to be something the owner of this team loves to do very much. And could be something that a team could identify and attack if they wanted to. I mean, something tells me if Bowen Byram doesn't get traded, he would get offer sheeted. I feel like that's just like the vibe that I get. I mean, what other reason would they be trying to wrap this up so quickly?
Yeah. I don't even know how big the offer sheet would even be. Like, I don't even know if we would match it almost no matter what.
I feel like it would have to be like in the 8 or 9 range, really.
That's crazy.
That's where the comparables are. I mean, I've made the Jacob Chikrin comparison many times. Rising Cap World, it's what it takes for a perceived number 1 or number 2 defenseman.
Someone else can have fun with that.
Yeah, it's definitely it definitely raises an eyebrow when you read that. Like, wow, one signing bonus for the entire team, and it's $1 million for Jason Zucker. Interesting. Makes you wonder how many times that's like bit them in the ass in contract conversations.
Yeah. We'll never know.
You did mention Alex Tuch in that conversation, and I think that was something that definitely picked up a lot of steam over the past few days. I think it was James Myrtle of The Athletic was just writing about, was he writing about just potential extensions? Maybe not. Or maybe I think it was just like a recap of what had gone down at the Combine. Anyways, Alex Tuch was a note in that article how teams were going to continue to call, and the Sabres were going to start extension talks, or maybe they hadn't even started. Anyways, everybody sees Alex Tuch is next. He's got a 1-year deal left on his contract, $4.75 million per season. But on July 1st, he's eligible for an extension, and it kind of makes you wonder, like, hey, what's the plan here? There's no secret. He's 29 years old. He's teetering on that cliff. And I think we added some fuel to the fire because according to Evolving Hockey, his next deal is most likely to be. Now, these are based off of their contract projections, which are the best around. They nail these on a continual basis, but they get these spot on for the most part. And Alex Tuch's most likely extension number would be 8 years at $9.17 million per season. So we asked the question, and we talked amongst ourselves as well. But JP, 8 years, $9.17 million per season. Would you do that for Alex Tuch?
I think I voted no.
I believe you did. I believe you voted no.
That it's not the dollar amount that scares me. I think he's more than proven himself. It's just it's the term. Like, that would take him to his age 37 season. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if we're exactly in the spot to be handing out a veteran who's soon to be a 30-year-old an 8-year deal. Because, like, in the back of my mind, in the very back of the mind, even though I don't want to think about this, if this season were to go to shit again, okay, and we have to go through another rebuild, we're not going to want an aging vet just sitting on our books. Like, I don't think we're in a spot to give him an 8-year deal. Like, I would probably max out at 5 years. Like, I would give him 5 by 9. Like, I'd do that all day. But I get from his spot, he's definitely going to want an 8-year deal. And I don't blame him. I mean, there's no reason he shouldn't get paid and he shouldn't get the term, but I don't know if we're exactly in the spot to do that.
Well, I think you made a good clarification that for you it's the term. When I look at the money, it's not so high where I'm like, ew, absolutely not. We're not doing that deal. No chance. But it's also not like, okay, wow, that's a good deal. That's a steal. Let's do it. It's not either of those. So it kind of tells me that it's probably the right amount of money, or like right around, like, he's not getting lower than 8. It's not happening.
No.
Absolutely not. Not in a rising cap world. He's getting paid, especially considering the last 7 years of his career. He's been on the last 8 years of his career, he's been on a sweetheart deal. Which, side note, it's really frustrating at most. It's really frustrating that at most you're getting one season of getting value out of that, like good value out of that contract, like $4.75 million for Alex Tuch, and it really never really got to utilize it.
No, and that's why he's gonna want to get paid even more here. Like, I don't think he's gonna take a hometown discount to stay here on a team that's gone nowhere since he's been here. So you're gonna have to pay up, and if he wants to extend here, you're probably going to have to give him more than most of us would probably want.
Right. So $8 to $9 million, like, that sounds about right.
Mm-hmm.
I think my cap is like 9.25. I feel like any higher than that, it's kind of getting like, all right, like, let's be honest about what you really are here, Tuch. I mean, especially if Tage Thompson's moving to the wing, which is a whole other conversation. You're on the second line. Like, you're a second line right winger, and I don't know if we can be paying you $9.5 million to be a second line right winger. But it's also important, for context. I'm looking at, for example, like Alexis Lafreniere, who makes $7.45 million per season. Just like what his trajectory is with a 4% cap increase over the next few seasons. Like, next season it's 6.9, then it's 6.3, then it's 5.8, 5.6, 5.3, 5.1, and then 4.9. So, like, it almost, in today's if Alex Tuch you went 8 years on, it's more than $3 million, or about $3 million less than what the dollar amount would be. It's like by year 8, it would be like $6.5 million in today's money. Now, is Alex Tuch, when he's 37, is he going to be worth $6.5 million in today's money? I don't know about that. I'll shout out Jesse real quick, who commented under our post. He said, 35-year-old Alex Tuch making $9.17 million for another 2 seasons is nightmare fuel.
He's such a hater of him. He's going to be upset once the extension happens.
He will be. But yeah, the dollar amount, it's going to be in that range, $8 to $9 million, and maybe even above 9 a bit. I would hope that like it stays in that $8.5 million. I feel like 8.5 is like my sweet spot. Like that's like, okay, it's fair. You got your money. That feels like it's enough. And from Evolving Hockey, a 5-year projection, for example, that would be $9 million on the dot. Would you do a 5x9?
Oh, easily. I'd sign up for that right now.
All right. So I feel like if you could just, whittle that down a couple $100,000, but at the end of the day, if it's $500,000, is it really going to break your back that much? I don't know. With this team, maybe. Your spending is not exactly what you would want it to be. So
it's not like you're pushing against the cap, though. So
that is true.
I think what the more interesting part of this conversation is if he doesn't want to sign an extension with us, at least right now, like maybe, going into next offseason, he would consider it. But if he doesn't want to sign an extension right now because he wants to see how the year's going to play out, I wouldn't blame him. What do you do? Like if by the deadline it's not looking good, that if he doesn't sign an extension this offseason,
what is not looking good? What are we qualifying that as?
Fringe, like on the fringe of playoff team, or maybe not even in the race. Like I think if we don't sign him for an extension right this offseason, in the next month or two, the conversations are going to start happening about Tuch at the deadline.
Okay, let's say we wake up on deadline morning and you're 5 points out of a playoff spot. What do you do?
I mean, I think I would still keep him, but the value you could probably get for Tuch would be, I think, very large. I mean, he's clearly coveted around the league. There's teams calling about him, even when we've said he's not available. But it's will be an interesting conversation if it doesn't happen. If the extension doesn't happen, what would you do?
I guess it depends on like where. Like, do I still have a chance to sign him? Is he like, we'll talk in the off season? Because I feel like if they mess up the playoffs again, like I should say, if he goes into the season without a contract and they miss the playoffs again, I would assume he's gone. I would very much assume he's just, if they wanted to sign, he would have done it by that point. There's nothing preventing the Sabres from meeting his money desire. So if it just didn't happen, he did not want it to happen. So 5 points, that would be a flip of a coin. I guess I think it's funny. I think this goes into a conversation about like Jarmo Kekalainen, funny enough, because if we get off the Tuch conversation for a second, do we think, I floated this, I don't know if I'd call it a theory, but does it feel like after hearing Kekalainen talk the other day and seeing him be very present, such as like him going to Bills camp, for example. I know it's dumb, but even something as small as that. Does it sort of feel like this is like a really soft, dry run for him as general manager?
I honestly think so. I mean, there's already been rumors about Kevin moving up.
Well, that's my
moving up in the
point.
front
It's like
office.
we heard it might happen this offseason.
Yep.
Obviously, it didn't. And then from Jarmo's point of view, he wanted a GM job. Didn't get like he admitted this. He said it on Sabres Live. He had interviewed for LA. He'd interviewed for the Islanders. Obviously, he didn't get those, and then he pivoted to this job. Now, with him wanting a GM job and Adams possibly moving up to upper management, that's kind of where this stems from. I feel like if you read between the lines, for me at least, it sort of seems like we're moving in that direction. Like this is very much. I'm not saying Kekalainen has. He's not. It's not like he's acting GM, and it's just like they have different titles. I think what this more is like he said in that interview on Sabres Live, how like he had good conversations with Kevin Adams, respected him, yada yada yada. And then he even said, like, oh, I've had great conversations with Terry Pagula. And it kind of makes you think, like, oh, all right, he's kind of like wiping the floors. He's doing, like, the janitor work to kind of, soak up to the upper management, to get under their good side. And I feel like that's kind of what we're witnessing here. Like, Kekalainen's getting acclimated. We're going to see how the next year goes. And then when next year comes, whether they have a great season, if they have a great season, okay, maybe it's a different conversation. But they have a bad season and Kevin Adams is let go, which I don't think is going to happen. I still don't think it's going to happen. But if it does, they're going to keep Kekalainen. Like, he's the GM. And I feel like in that scenario, okay, you've done a lot of legwork the past year. You've gotten acclimated to the organization. You've gotten on the owner's good side. Here you go. And then even if they have a great year, I guess that's where this dry run stems from. Like maybe, like from my point of view, this season has become Adams does the legwork, gets a framework of a deal or an idea of a deal in place, and then Kekalainen, they go to him, ask for the final say. And then it's a done deal, and then at the end of the season you evaluate, was that a good move? Kekalainen signed off on it, so did it end up well? Did it work well? Is this going to be the fit for next year, for example? So, like, that's kind of how I feel about it right now. I don't know if you see it in a similar light.
No, I mean, I do, because they said how Jarmo is going to be involved in all the conversations. They're going to be using his connections around the league. I think there's already rumors coming out that he was talking to GMs at the Combine. So it only makes sense. And I think you're right about the Bills thing. Like, him going there, I think that does mean something. I mean, every year, like last year, Kevin Adams and Lindy Ruff went to training camp, and Terry Pagula was there. Like, the year before that, I think it was just Kevin and Donnie and Terry again. So I think it does mean something that they're parading him around. He's right by the GM side. I think it does mean something. And I think the other logical internal front office staff who could have become the GM, like we talked about for at length this past year, was that Carmanos would probably make the most sense, but there's already rumors that he might not even be here. This offseason, it's looking like he's going to stay, but there's already rumors thrown around that he might not be here for the long haul. So if it's not him and Kevin's not going to be here next year, Jarmo just makes all the sense in the world. And it gives them credibility, and they've been looking for that. So I think it'll also be interesting to see, once free agency's done and or even when the draft is done and Kevin is being interviewed by the press, it'll be interesting to see if he credits Jarmo or if he talks about how he helped him in this process or just how he's talked about in the media spotlight. I think that will be telling too.
So to bring this back to like the Tuch conversation, for example, if that's your thinking, do you set up Jarmo's tenure as GM in that scenario, or do you give a one last like this? Do you want Kevin Adams? If you're 5 points out of a playoff spot, do you want Kevin Adams potentially doing like a weird Botterill 2020 deadline ad where you're adding like Wayne Simmons and Dominic Cahoon, for example? Like, do you want Kevin Adams to have that kind of deadline, give the playoffs one last go, or do you wave the white flag with Tuch, get like a first round pick and like a really young NHL, like I don't know I'll just like I'll put Detroit back on the table. Like if it was like if it's a Marco Casper type player plus maybe a late first round pick, do you do that with Tuch? I mean, I think like a team that's been around him a ton, like obviously Tampa Bay comes to mind, but they don't have a lot of picks. I think of a team like LA. Like if LA comes to you and says, we'll trade you our first round pick this year and Brant Clark, do you trade Alex Tuch for that?
I don't know. It doesn't really move the needle for me. And I also think if you were to decide that trading Tuch, would be the best for the organization, I just wonder what that means for the other star players on our team, Tage and Donnelly. And it's like if you're moving Tuch, like that's pretty much waving the white flag. So what's the other fallout? Like I almost that's why when I first saw this conversation being had on Twitter and should we trade Tuch at the deadline if he's not going to sign an extension, it's like I would almost rather keep him till the end of the year, give it our last best shot with this core, and if it fails, then what the hell? We're gonna probably blow it up no matter what anyway. So I'd rather
True, but like you could have a young right-handed defenseman and another first-round pick. So it just becomes like, do you get ahead of the curve? I mean, let's say I don't know. Let's say it's another disaster season like this one. Like, let's say the season's over in November again. Like, are you... I mean, I guess we said, like, 5 points out was the thing to do. Like, the 5 points out makes it difficult to decide. But I guess, like, if this season's done, like, if they're in, like, the McKenna sweepstakes next year going into, like, February, maybe not in last place, maybe not even in the bottom 3, but if they're hovering around the bottom 5 like this year, do you wave the white flag on Tuch? Does that motivate you to do it?
It's a tough conversation. It's not an easy decision. And I really hope we don't get to that point. I don't know what I would do, but I think if we don't sign that extension in the next month, conversations are going to be had this entire rest of the offseason and into next season if we don't start good. And I don't want those conversations to happen. I love Tuch, one of our better players, great culture guy, and one of the leaders of this team. And he's one of our core pieces. I don't want to be having this conversation, but knowing the Sabres track record, it's a conversation that has to be had. I was just thinking today, like I was just driving, I was thinking about the team. I was like, we really have one of the best goal scorers in the league with Tage Thompson getting paid $7 million. Like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, you just said that Lafreniere, in 5 years' time, his contract's going to be worth $4.5 million. Tage Thompson's contract is going to be worth like less than that in the same in a few years. Like it's insane.
In 29-30, Lafreniere's contract will be worth 5.3. So Thompson's will be like right around 5 in today's money.
It's a absolute bargain the fact that we got him at that and we can't even use it. Like, it's just incredible that we're like, obviously Dahlin we'd have paid top dollar for, and he deserves it completely.
But even that's going to be like $9 million in today's money by the time it's done, and you're only going to see, it's. Sorry, I'm looking at my phone. The Oilers just took the lead. What was it? Ah, shit, I lost my train of thought.
Tage.
I just mean like with the Cale Makar's next contract's coming up. Quinn Hughes is coming up in a few years. Those are guys that are going to be getting like $14-15 million on their next deal. So, Dahlin is gonna. Even that's gonna age well moving forward.
Yeah, it just makes me think. It's like Mitch Marner. I think most likely his deal is probably going to be in the 13 to 14 million range. That he's going to be getting paid double of Tage. And don't get me wrong, Marner's the better player, but it's like Tage is a superstar as well, and we are just wasting this bargain of a deal. Just like you said, how we wasted Tuch's bargain of a deal. Like it's incredible. Like, this would be the time to make a big signing, make up for that money that we're saving by not paying Tage $4 more million, but we just haven't taken advantage of it yet.
You are spot on. All right. We'll see where the Tuch debate goes. Anyway, just kind of want to throw in my usual plug. Sign Zach Benson to an extension. Just like 8 years, do it. We're talking about like Lafreniere being worth, in Lafreniere's last year of his deal, he'll be worth 4.9. If you sign Zach Benson for 8 years, just as a reminder, his most likely deal is $6.5 million. That'll be worth like 3.5 in today's money. Oh no, actually, 8 years is 6.2 for Zach Benson. Let's get that done, please. Can we multitask?
This organization doesn't like doing that. I also hope that us extending guys isn't our big offseason additions. It did come to my mind while we were talking about this. Us signing Tuch to a 5-year, $9 million extension, that's a big PR move. They could cover up, us not doing anything for a few days.
Why would you say that?
That's what this team does to us.
There's a non-zero chance that will happen.
Exactly.
You know what else pissed me off? Seeing Rasmus Dahlin come in 6th for Norris voting.
Yep.
I'm actually surprised he made it that high. Because, he deserved to friggin' win the award 2 years ago, and he came in 8th.
I think he gets the recognition that he is one of the best players, but it's like he's on a bad team. Like, if the Sabres are good, he would probably have been a top three vote right now.
He would have been a finalist at least twice.
Yeah. And Cale Makar, of course, very deserving this year.
I can't do this.
You're gonna be fighting the Makar talks until
I will
retired.
be. This is gonna be like he's gonna be like he'll be like I don't even know if there's a conversation. He didn't deserve to win. I just don't think he deserved to win it this year. He scored a shit ton of points, but like, I guess I hate to be that guy, but like the advanced stats just were not impressive to win that award.
It's Makar crime family.
I never wanted to be that guy. It's not even like I was talking to my buddy about this the other day. Like it's not even that Cale Makar isn't the best defenseman in the world. It's like he could be. I would maybe even rank him first. I probably wouldn't. I'd probably put Quinn Hughes first. But like even then, like it's a debate, and I just don't. I feel like he's going to be looked at as like this generational star. He came in 6th in Hart voting this year.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That's insane. He wasn't that good. I mean, the Sabres, there was one. I mean, that when the Sabres losing streak happened, the big one, Vancouver was here like loss number 2 of that streak, and I think Colorado was here like game 4. So I saw Quinn Hughes and Cal McCarr in a matter of like 4 or 5 days, and Quinn Hughes was just on another level. And like even like I thought like Werenski, I thought this was his year to win it, and it was just so lopsided in terms of McCarr. He had 176 first place votes. I don't know. If Colorado fans ever like found this, that we would get torched.
Well, they already don't like us, so it is what it is.
I guess, yeah, they really don't like us, do they?
Some of the other voting
I don't
surprised
know.
me too.
Just makes me mad.
Hey, we got a goalie won the Hart though.
It's about time, honestly. He probably deserved it the last few seasons, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Is he the first to do it? What, I think Carey Price did it one year.
I was gonna say it's been a while, but I think the voters actually made a rare good choice.
I would agree.
And I mean, not only did McCarr win the Norris, your other favorite defenseman down in Montreal won Rookie of the Year. So you're having a bad award season.
That one didn't make me mad. Like in my opinion, I thought it was Dustin Wolf's award. Like I thought he just dragged Calgary to playoff contention, and that roster just stinks. But I get it, especially it's Montreal.
Yep.
But at the same time, he was amazing for them. He was very, very good.
No, he definitely was.
I would take Tyler Myers though, his Calder season over him. Just a preference. 2010 Tyler Myers was not to be. He was to be reckoned with.
He had a bright future.
Yeah, I don't know. I just even going back to the Hart votes. Nick Suzuki got a first place vote.
It's insane.
Habs fans, if any of them are listening in, come on. A first place vote for Nick Suzuki.
It's wild. I mean, there are some other. I mean, Ovi, what he was.
Ovechkin got I think he got one.
Like, man, this season was awesome for Ovechkin, but man, he was not one of the best players.
He
in the
was
league.
gone for like 2 months, and they were fine.
Yeah, sometimes you just look at the voting, and this isn't all leagues. Like, this isn't just the NHL, but it's like, do these voters actually watch the game, or are they just picking the biggest name? Some of it just does not make sense.
Yeah, I feel like no sport. I feel like hockey is still just so behind the times when it comes to like integrating advanced stats into these conversations. It feels like we're getting closer with Selke. Like, it's nice to see Sam Reinhart get recognition. I feel like he's a guy that would not get that like 5 years ago just because he plays on the same line as Barkov. But yeah, I don't know. Like Jack Eichel finished 5th, right? And finished 5th in Selke voting. Like, he's not a good defensive player. Same with Alex. Like, Alex Tuch, like, I know he blocked a ton of shots, but probably didn't deserve Selke votes in my mind.
I don't know. A lot of these voters across all sports, I just feel like they have their own opinions and they want to be different than everybody else.
Start a podcast. That's my recommendation.
Yeah. Talk into the void rather than actually affect, awards that, turn into Hall of Fame conversations and stuff like that.
Sorry, I'm trying to keep my eyes on the Florida game here. 2 minutes left, empty net.
I actually can't believe they brought it back. I mean, I only watched the first period, but shots were like 16-4 after that period. It wasn't even a conversation. I thought it was done.
See, Wayne Gretzky called Sam Reinhart the possibly the smartest hockey player to have ever played.
Yep.
It's pretty high praise.
That was our prince. That was our prince over here, but good for him.
Oh.
I was happy to see Skinner. Skinner got to play.
He's
today.
back in the lineup. Yeah, he's back in the
lineup. Good for him. I don't know if he got a point on any of these goals, but I was happy he was being thrown back in.
Yeah, it's nice. Nice to see him get in there for a game.
I mean, if they win tonight, I would imagine he's in a game 5.
Yeah,
so
yeah. I don't know. He scored in the series clincher last. And did not
prior to this game, because I don't know if he's got a point, but
I don't believe he does.
He was a point per game. He had an assist in his first game and had a goal in his next game. So stats don't lie.
Stats do not lie. Florida just called a timeout. So yeah, I'm just trying to see what else we have to talk about here. A couple small things. Consta Helenius named to the AHL top prospects team. Very cool to see. Didn't know he was the youngest player in the AHL this year.
Oh, jeez.
Cool little.
I mean, I knew
cool
he was young,
tidbit.
but not that young.
Yeah.
Wow.
The youngest player. So good for him. Filiami Marhala, who I think was a 2020 draft pick from the Sabres. So Adam's first draft, if I'm correct. 2021, excuse me. So Adam's second draft. Obviously, there was a deadline for a bunch of the Sabres prospects a few weeks ago. I know he didn't get a contract. I feel like there was one other notable one. But Marhala didn't get a contract, and then a few days later signs with the Edmonton Oilers right away. So interesting there. Don't know if the Sabres put a contract offer in or not, or if they even attempted to. But even if they did, I'm sure Marhala saw a bit of the writing on the wall with a lot of forward prospects sitting in Rochester. So probably made a business decision there. And then lastly, this was from, I believe, was it Jeff Merrick speculating? Dan Muse, who is the new head coach of the Pittsburgh Penguins, he was wondering if Mike Leone would possibly be someone to join his coaching staff.
That'd be a big loss. It'd be 3 new head coaches. Maybe the 3 head coaches in 3 years for the Amherst. Especially with the year they had. Obviously, they flamed out at the end, but he helped a young team, get very far and be one of the best teams in the league this year.
Yeah, I mean, they obviously the Amherst had a hell of a season, so to lose Leone after 1 year, it would just be insane. But also kind of telling that, I don't want to call it kind of telling. I'm not going to turn this into an Appert thing. Just, he never got any offers right away, I guess is my thing. Just pointing that out.
I did think earlier, I forgot to say it, but, if they're grooming Jarmo to be the next GM, and we know the praise that Seth Appert gets in the organization, we could be looking at a Jarmo and Seth Appert combination for years to come.
I wonder what he's going to think of him.
It's a good question.
Oh, my God. Sam Reinhart just tied it.
Are you serious?
He just tied the game.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my Lord. Live reaction. Wow.
What? So they're going
to went
the third overtime in 4 games?
Should have seen this. Props to Wayne Gretzky for calling it. They just showed Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce after that.
Oh, my God.
What? Why? I don't even get it. I don't even get it for that.
Not get into this.
They're a weird tick. Reinhardt tried to overpass, but somehow winded back on his stick. Very funny. Why is Matthias Janmark out there within the dying seconds? Wow. Good for Sam. What was I saying? Oh, right. Like I wonder what Jarmo thinks of like Seth Appert, or just what he's gonna think of him in a few months' time.
Well, I mean, if Seth Appert's really as big in the conversations, with who to trade for, who to sign, Yarmo's gonna have an opinion on him pretty quickly.
I guess so. There was something else I wanted to mention. Oh, right. Did you see Bob Woods got fired by Seattle today?
I did not see that, no.
Power play coach of the Sabres back in 2016-17. Finished in first place. And the power play, obviously. Not standings wise.
Yeah. They haven't made any coaching changes yet, so I don't know what would make you think that they might actually bring someone back.
I don't know. I don't think there's enough slots. I was thinking I want to like put a list together of every single team that has made some sort of coaching change. It's June 12th. It's the same coaches on the staff.
Nothing.
Like I know did we touch on that? Was it last episode or was it the episode was it the mailbag episode where we were just like, why is this going to happen, or is it randomly going to happen in like July or late August? Like, what are we doing here?
I don't know. No coaching changes. No, not even like any reorganization of the coaching staff. No moving responsibilities over. It's literally been dead silent. It's I don't know. It's perplexing.
I just hope somebody asks about it this week or next week at the draft. Does Adams usually do like a pre-draft presser? Just post.
He definitely does post. He might do like a small one pre-draft, but I feel like that was always, just I don't think it was ever like an official like in front of a mic stand. It was like, I'll meet with reporters for like 10 minutes, and obviously there's going to be no reporters on site this time, so it might be a little different.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Yep. They will be in the draft room. Well, I think that's really all I got for this one. No Christian this week. He was doing the, was it the JP Morgan corporate challenge? I think. I know he said it was a corporate challenge.
It was the corporate challenge, yeah. He's running like a 5K today or something. I don't know.
Yeah, he's probably
moving up
slumped. He's probably slumped on his couch.
Moving up the corporate ladder.
He's had a rough back-to-back nights. Big win last night. Big win for the our beer league team, Lancaster Lumberjacks. Big OT win.
Yep.
Christian was probably in pain after that one. And today, not much better. Just probably hunched over.
Yeah. Yep. No.
All in service of the common goal.
Yep. But if think we're gonna have a big podcast on Monday.
That's right. Yeah. I guess it's not really a spoiler since anybody could look at it, but yeah, Christian and I, we did that. For anybody that listened to it last year, we did like a 4-year retrospective on Adams as GM. Obviously, with Monday being the 5-year anniversary, and a lot has changed in the last year. I mean, if you go back and listen to that retrospective, last year we were very, very kind to him because the way we laid out all 4 years to that point is he had 3 really good, 1 year that we didn't think was his fault, 2 really good years of building a good core, and then obviously 23-24 was a big step back. This year was struggling to find words to even describe it, so I will probably just save it for the episode.
Yeah.
So I think we're planning to record again this weekend. But that could change. Like if Florida wins tonight and then if they win on Saturday, Usually our first episode post-cup raising is usually our off-season preview. So, I don't know. Maybe we'll get... Could be a busy week for us. I'll put it that way.
Yeah. I mean, moves could start happening, too. Like we
That
said.
is true. Like
The first one happened.
Yeah, the first domino dropped. And, Chris Kreider, even if he's not what he once was, it's still a name being moved.
I mean, and
the Bowen Byram trade could be done this weekend.
Yeah. I mean, the Chris Kreider trade was basically confirmed to being happen. It was going to happen. That was Tuesday night, and we finally got details what today. So, I mean, we could easily get a rumor that Bowen Byram is going somewhere, and we have to wait until details to come out. But that could easily happen this weekend. So, stuff could ramp up. We could be having emergency pods. Who knows?
Yep. The fun is on the horizon. So stay tuned. We have 3 potential topics to talk about, so there will be another episode this weekend. Stay tuned. And if something changes, we'll be sure to let you know. So, is there anything else that we should touch on before shutting things down here? All right. Well, if there's nothing else to touch on quickly, I guess we'll wrap things up. So, as always, if you want to follow us on Twitter, you can follow us at The Sabre Report. Also on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at The Sabre Report. Go give our friends over at the Buffalo Sports Talk podcast a listen. OTAs started this week. James Cook is back in town for the Bills. Big news there. I think somebody got married too.
Maybe.
Perhaps. So, they'll be there to cover all that stuff. Go give them a listen. And if you want updates for the pod, you can follow us at Sabre Report Pod on Twitter. But other than that, I think that's going to do it. We'll see you folks next time. Thank you for listening. And as always, go Sabres.
Go Sabres.